Oh boy, it's the update video. Hey, this is normally the first video I post every year, but clearly that didn't happen this year. What am I gonna say? Jeez. So much. Last year was crazy. Ooh, now I am relatable because everybody had a crazy year. Let's see. I'm quitting. Now I can put that in the thumbnail. I'm not gonna put that in the thumbnail. It's not true. But gosh! So clearly, by this video not being the first video of the year, like, everything is behind. So many big things were planned for next year, but then, you know, unprecedented times. You know, we lived through a lot of historical events. We were originally planning in March, April time last year to go to England and do a whole series about, like, real-world English locations and show the Galar, the inspirational sources for Galar's locations, and talk about all those connections and all the cultural tidbits and all that. We were going to hang out with Birdkeeper Toby and all that. It was going to be my first time out of the country. And the pandemic technically didn't start yet, but it was like, oh, the first case in the US. Okay, I mean, that's only a couple hours north of here. We'll see how things go. Things did not go good. So that got delayed. At this point, it might not even happen. Because it was topical back then. Because, you know, the game hadn't even been out for a year yet. It's not really topical anymore. Maybe we'll go to northern Japan. If the borders open up by then and everything's under control. But hey, instead of going to England and having a really good time, I got coronavirus instead. If you follow me on Twitter, @Lockstin, you will know that whole story. Oh man, it was such a hassle, a headache to finally get tested and everything, but it was sickest I've ever been. Like, we're talking 92% lung, air, oxygen stuff. Like, if it's below 90, go to the hospital kind of deal. It was awful. Like, just the worst we've ever felt. I should have gone to the hospital. When my fever eventually broke 104, but thankfully that was temporary, and an ice bath helped a lot with that. But the downside of it, of course, is I'm a long hauler, I think is the term that people are using. It'll be a year in like 3-4 months, and I'm still not able to do what I used to be able to do. Just taking a trash bag out and putting it in the trash can outside, and then dragging that to the street. Winded. Completely. Getting the mail. We live on a hill, so like it's a hill, but like winded. Go up the stairs too fast, winded. I can't. A lot of the recording that I do, because, you know, we record with big tone and all that. I used to be able to go for hours. A lot of the more recent ones, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I can push an hour. It's been really hard, which is a part of why the videos the last few months of last year, and even so far this year, have been slower. You know, we normally do 2, maybe 3 videos a week, but it's been around 1 to 2 instead. And that's why. Lost a couple family members to coronavirus. It's been challenging, and just people hating each other. That's not very nice. Don't do that. But overall, as far as the channel goes, it's been good. We're fine. The support on Patreon, the support from Gnoggin.net has all been great. It's helped us push through the ad rates, which the ad rates did plummet because of the pandemic, but they eventually recovered. Not fully recovered. It's definitely the worst December I've experienced. But it was still way better than most of the rest of the year normally. So overall, like, it's a dip, but it's not super bad. But what is extra cool is we made a business. I'm an official business now. It's Lockstin LLC. I would have called it Gnoggin, but I was like, but I might want to start working on Azoth University again. That was a project we started, remember? I talked about poop too much. The dream is to focus more on that than on Gnoggin, even. But clearly one is, I mean, they're both monetized, but one actually makes a profit, the other doesn't. So the one that makes a profit is the one I have to focus on to support the other one. But it just, once I got coronavirus early last year, it was... But yeah, we formed a business officially. So now taxes are a lot easier. No longer do I have to pay an income tax and a self-employment tax because now I am employed by the business instead of employed by myself, even though I am the only one in the business right now. Bureaucracy is stupid. The whole system, the entire system is set up to benefit corporations. So now that it's officially a corporation, like the accountant that I talked to help me get everything set up, he was saying, oh, if you had done a corporation last January, based on all the money that's involved, you would have saved $20,000 if you were a corporation instead of just you as a person. The entire system is set up to benefit corporations. It is so dumb. But anyway, so I'm taking advantage of that. Let's see, other things last year. We were going to have 2 special months like we did in 2019, where we did Dragon Month and Eevee Month. Over summer, we were wanting to do Dragon Month and Fairy Month. Over summer 2020, we wanted to do Eevee Month and, like, we didn't figure out a name, but like Timeline Month, History, Lore Month, something like that. But obviously the coronavirus, it took me out for like 3 weeks of like, I just couldn't do anything. Which made us burn through the whole backlog. So instead of working on Eevee special things which have deadlines, because, you know, it's a special month, we want it all to fit there, we just postponed it. We decided we were going to postpone it till November, December, and then November, December rolled around. No, it didn't happen, obviously. So the plan this year is to do that. A whole Eevee month dedicated to Eevee. Also, background. It's always been full of stuff, right? We're going to be tweaking it up a bit. I opened a P.O. box, as in the business opened a P.O. box. So if you're interested in sending me a thing for the background or a thing as a prop, I'll have a whole shelf over here full of props, like all the plushes I always hold up in videos and things. Or just like viewer mail, things like that. I'm going to do 1 or 2 viewer mail special videos. Maybe include some openings at the end of regular videos. The address will be down in the description, as will a link to Gnoggin.net. Merch was also kind of slow last year. Not in terms of sales, but in terms of like adding new stuff. It feels like the first year we had it open, we were like putting out new things constantly, but I guess it was probably just because of, again, the virus and the pandemic and everything locking down. It's been hard to do things. Do have a new shirt coming up very soon, though. And also a super cool thing we haven't done yet that I'm so excited to share, but I can't right now. But yeah, as far as updates go, it was okay. It was an okay year despite everything. For us anyway. Oh gosh, remember when I said we were going to start a series where we were just like going through and reviewing every single Pokemon game? That didn't happen either. Other than the virus, health has been okay. Regained 30 pounds last year. But I had stopped keto because of having coronavirus. I stopped it because I literally couldn't keep food in me or was ever hungry. So I stopped for a bit. Only ate easy things to eat, which generally is just bread. And then the recovery process and the following depression spell just led to me not starting it up again until the last week of December. So I'm back on it again. It's been like 3 weeks then, I think. Lost 5 pounds again already. Changed insurance companies, which, oh man, I recently got what would have previously cost me $900 worth of insulin for $60. Just by changing insurance companies. So like, now even more so than before, I feel terrible for people who have health insurance, who can only get health insurance through their employer, and so they don't have options. But speaking of health, I've also been having wrist problems. I never wear it in videos, obviously, but I've been wearing a big brace compression thing, because it's, you can't really tell, but like, if you were able to look closely with your eyes, I have a noticeable bone growth in there. And because of the pandemic and everything, seeing a doctor it takes forever. So it took me 2 months of waiting to talk to one about it, who then gave me a referral My insurance company says it's not a life-threatening thing, so they're not going to cover it. That was last year. This year, I finally started on the new health insurance, so the insurance is going to cover it. So I finally got a referral, and we're going to start dealing with it in February. But that might also cause delays in videos because, you know, this is how I edit. This is how I browse the internet to help me research. This is everything. So the possibility of surgery is high. That might take some time to recover. Let's see, highlights of last year. It was super cool getting sponsored by like official Pokemon stuff with the glasses. That was this year. And the shirts, the Pokemon shirts. That was way cool. It's like an honor. I say this every year also. We're going to be dabbling into a little more non-Pokemon stuff, as you might have saw recently with the Bug Snacks video, which did stupidly well. I had no idea Bug Snacks was that popular. I figured it was going to be like a nothing filler video, so we specifically did put a ton of effort into the editing of it, and then, well, what do you know? It's doing better than most of our regular stuff that we put a ton of effort into. Why is that always the case? So, we're going to do the same thing, but with other series. Thinking of doing, like, well, right now we're working on the etymology of Monster Hunter monsters, and every Temtem explained. Might be getting into a few others. The Kaskade series has been doing fantastic. Like, when I first conceptualized it, as in, like, we saw other people doing it, like, hey, let's hop on the trend. It seems super fun. I've always wanted to, like, you know, I spend my time delving into Pokemon designs. Let's take that knowledge of how they come up with designs and do it ourselves. And it was great. I was expecting to get maybe 4 or 5 videos out of it before it, like, woo, you know, but they're just doing better and better. I'm so glad that people like them because they're super fun to do. I've had several people approach asking to make a ROM hack or a game based on it. That's a potential thing for the future, but currently not gonna bother with that. I mean, the groundwork for the whole thing hasn't even been fleshed out yet. Right now, we're only just working on the region video and the ideas for the storyline kind of video. Still have no idea what to do for the weather mechanic, honestly. All I knew was weather is a mechanic. There should be a weather type of a weather move of every type, even if it doesn't make sense. But, you know, like pollen blowing through the air, that's a weather. A bunch of pheromones blowing through the air, it's close enough. Things like that. I have no idea what the specifics are going to be, though, because I don't have much knowledge for competitive Pokemon. But yeah, the plan for this year is to just keep going. I'm gonna keep doing Kaskade stuff. I'm gonna hopefully get EV month stuff figured out. They're all written already. Every video is written. The scripts aren't finalized, but they're written. So it should happen. We'll see. Azoth. We have, again, several scripts for Azoth University are done. Several of them are recorded. 1 or 2 of them are already edited. I just didn't want to, like, just post a random video about some random fact and then just out of the blue, like, yo, it's been almost a year. Here's one video. And then who knows when we're going to post again. So I'm saving it for, like, when we can have a semi-regular schedule for it. But yeah, boring update video. Figured I would do it because it's been a sort of annual tradition. But things are finally stable. I know in previous update videos I've said, like, hey, if things don't pick up this year, we might not continue. Because, like, things were going down and down and down. But this time, things were good and up. And then the pandemic made it dip a bit, but it's already recovering and things are fine. We're fine. Thank you all so much. I've always been bad with words. Well, when they're not scripted. And even when they're scripted sometimes. But honestly, like, thanks. Thanks so much. Let's do fun stuff. Let me show you around. Keeping the studio tidy has been hard, especially lately, just because the whole exhausted after recording because of my lungs kind of thing. But I guess that's the behind-the-scenes action you're after now, isn't it? There's always sponsor stuff and props that I've used recently. everywhere on this table. This is normally the table that we've used in most of the videos where I'm sitting down. We recently swapped over to me standing. Recently picked up this molecule model. It's neat. Currently it's caffeine, I believe. There are plushes everywhere. I really like using them as props. We do not have every single sitting cutie, but we have definitely more than half of them. It's not just this shelf, they're also the 3 bins over there. Oh, I still haven't actually talked about this. This sword and its stand were sent to me by a viewer who is amazing, and I'm going to link to their website and their work down in the description as well. Originally, the game collection wasn't in my studio, but after another person moved into the house, we needed to make space for them. So the game collection shelf moved in here. Thankfully, it kind of works as more sound insulation and all that. Which, by the way, is what these are. They're, I forget the technical term for the corner ones. Like, these are audio panels. Like, these are audio panels, and these are bass traps, I think is the term. We recently put up this scaffolding. Ain't that cool? It opens up a lot more floor space because now there's less tripods taking up a ton of space. I don't have to squeeze between everything. There aren't cables everywhere. I mean, there's still cables there, but they aren't everywhere. And yeah, that's the studio as of me recording this. Things be changing. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. And again, thanks for everything.